Well, hello there, and welcome back to Mr. E's Mysteries and Magics. This is the tutorial for the Do As I Do demo that I posted a few days ago. So I hope you enjoy what I'm about to teach you here, and I'd just like to remind you that this video is sponsored by RP Magic Shop. You can check out their link to the website down below. If you live in the United States, there is always free shipping for orders of $40 or more. Now, getting on to the effect itself, there are a number of different ways of doing this particular magic effect. And believe me, if you want to do it differently than what I'm teaching you here and take the principles that you see on this video and twist them around and change them, by all means do so. The first thing is, these were, of course, as you might remember from the tutorial, these were the cards that were chosen. We'll leave them on top for now. The first thing is, when you first take the two decks of cards out, you can say to your spectator, feel free to pick either deck, okay? It's a free choice. The decks don't matter. So you can hold out the two decks to the spectator, just like that, and say, choose the deck you'd like to work with. It's not magician's choice. They can take the deck and you just hand it to them. Doesn't matter. They're going to be identical. The second thing you can do is later on you'll see that, if you go back to the original demo, you'll see that I took the card and I put it on the bottom of the deck and then I cut the deck. Okay. That's probably not the best way to do it. It works. It's fine. But the best way probably at that point is to take the chosen card, tell the person, take your card and put it on top of the deck and then cut it. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's going to work out exactly the same. Putting it on top of the deck is maybe just a slightly bit more transparent. It's up to you. This variation can be done, or this effect, I should say, can be done as a variation with marked decks if you want, or you can simply do it as an impromptu card trick with common ordinary cards. Great decks to use are those little bridge decks, that come in a pair. They have different sets of flowers on them or birds or something. If you're in a house that has avid bridge players, they might have a set of those double bridge decks that Bicycle and a lot of other places sells. Those aren't marked, and this is a great effect to use with those two kinds of decks. So what's the key to it? Well, again, here's another twist. If you're using a deck that you have already, then you can set this up in your own mind and know that each deck has a card on the bottom, and you can even set this up so that the same card is, if you're using two decks of your own, you can set both decks up with the same card on the bottom. You're going to be using a key card system. And you just have to remember what card it is that you put on the bottom. This way, if you put the same card on the bottom, whichever deck you choose and end up with, it doesn't matter. You'll have the same key card. If you're doing all right, so you do the shuffle. And I'm going to do just a quick controlled shuffle. And you swap the cards over. Right, the do as I do part, you swap the cards over. Whoop, move the cards this way. And you pick your card, and you're going to go through the deck, and you're going to pick, as you saw in the demo, I simply went through the deck, picked a card, and I just put it aside, and I didn't show you what it was. That's because it doesn't matter what this card is. You can take any card you want. It doesn't make a lick of difference. The spectator is going to take their card after you've switched the decks. They're going to pick a card, and as we all know, it was the 9 of clubs, okay? Again, you're not going to know this, all right? And you're just going to take this thing, and you are going to take this card. You're going to look at it and pretend like, oh yeah, this is important, but you are going to immediately forget it. Don't worry about it. This card is absolutely meaningless. Taking the card and looking at it is just for show. You put the cards on top. You do the cut, and then you swap the decks again, and you say, now, you look for your card, I'll look for mine, and we'll see after all of this back and forth of mimicking each other, especially if you do that little thing at the beginning where you play the game with, making faces at each other and doing gestures and mimicking the gestures without doing anything with cards, this whole mirror image thing. Let's see if we carried that to its logical conclusion and picked the same card. Well, clearly, your person is going to be I think this would probably be their deck at this point. They're going to go through the deck, and they're going to find their 9 of clubs. You, on the other hand, are going to be going through the deck, and you will be looking for your key card, which we know is the 2 of diamonds. Right? That's what you're looking for. And you know that the card to the right, your right here, is going to be the same card that they chose because you're looking for this key card. That's why you just completely ignore whatever card it was that you chose earlier. Totally irrelevant. You're looking for the key card. You put that aside, face down, hold it up against your chest, whatever it is you want to do. And then when you take the cards and expose them, the mirror image result comes out and you've got the same cards, and people walk away saying, wow, that's great. Again, very easy, very self-working. Here's another thing. If you don't use a deck that you brought with you, let's say you're at a party and somebody hands you 2 decks of theirs, how do you determine the key card? Simple. You take a peek. Right, now I know the key card on this one is the 10 of clubs. Okay, there it is. All right, that's all. You just take a peek. As you're shuffling the cards, you just take a quick look at the bottom, very surreptitiously. No one will know that you're doing it. Of course, if you're using a marked deck, you don't have to worry about that. You can just read it off the top of the deck. And that's kind of a different variation. Maybe someday I will do a video on that. So that's the variations. Either know in advance what your key card will be, or if you can't know in advance because you're being given 2 decks from the hostess's stockpile, take a peek, sneak a peek. That's it. End of story, end of game, end of trick, and you have finished it up and you have finally left them baffled.